Hello, ghouls and ghoulies. Welcome to Scary and Bizarre Short Stories. I'm your host, Larry Lee Roten. This story is a ghoulish tale, one that may make you think. Some of us went to summer camps when we were young. I'm glad I never spent my summers in this camp. And after listening to this chilling tale, you'll be happy you never spent time in this camp, too. This scary story is called Camp Netherworld. The ferry slid along the wooden dock before coming to a halt. I watched as one of the mates tossed mooring lines to another man, who wrapped them around two rusty bullards. There were 20 of us getting off the boat. My name is Mary, and I had turned 13 a few weeks earlier and looked to be the youngest in our group. Once we stepped onto the dock, the mooring lines were quickly removed. The boat's propeller churned the water as it backed away from the pier. We stood silent, watching our only way off the island slowly disappear toward the horizon. The island greeted us with a gentle breeze, carrying the scent of salt and adventure. It was both thrilling and daunting to realize that for the time being, this isolated haven was our entire world. The dock creaked underfoot as we moved, each step emitting a soft cry. It's not what one would expect on an island. A large sign read, "Welcome to Camp Fog." I studied the letters and thought it was a strange name for a summer camp, but I assumed they might have had a lot of fog since it was an island surrounded by water. I grabbed my bags and headed toward the camp, about 100 yards off the beach. We were all strangers, as I don't think any of us knew the person beside us. But then again, it was a summer camp for teenagers from all over America. The camp had 8 cabins, and each unit slept 4 people. There was a large square with 4 cabins on each side. At the end was a large building, which I assume was for activities and meals. 2 adult counselors stood in the middle of the square, welcoming each of us. An hour later, we were all settled in our cabins. The rest of that day, we stayed in the square, or the eating area, getting to know each other. Having all these strangers around me was strange, but I assume they felt the same way. I tried using my cell phone, but to no avail, no signal. Our counselors told us that the island had no cell service, rendering our modern day technology useless. Lights out was at 9, and as I lay in bed, I stared into the darkness, wondering why my parents would send me to such a place. It was far from my home state, and I was already anxious. I assumed my parents thought this camp would make me a better person or strengthen me somehow. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't one of those teenagers who got into trouble. I was just the opposite, quiet, obedient, and respectful. I lay wondering what the next day would bring. Early that morning, a voice woke me up. I sat in the darkness listening. Once more, I heard a girl's voice. She said, "Welcome to Camp Netherworld." "What?" I said softly. "Who are you?" "My name is Odium." "Odium," I said. "No one by that name is in this cabin. It's me, Jean, Alice, and Fay. There's no one here by that name." Odium became distraught. Although still whispering, her words were condescending as she snapped at me. "I was here before you, and I'll be here after you leave. I came to warn you, you must leave this place." "Why?" I asked. "If you don't leave, you'll be stuck here like me," Odium said. "Stuck in this miserable place, this Camp Netherworld." I told her I didn't understand. I was in Camp Fog, a teenage summer camp. A wicked laugh echoed within my cabin. "Oh," Odium said, You don't know, do you? They haven't told you. Don't know what? I asked. Told me what? You will never leave this place, Odium said. You're stuck here, just like me. The following day I spoke with the counselors. I told them about Odium and the words that she had said. They laughed. Odium has been in this camp for years. She's harmless, so don't worry about her. She called this camp Camp Netherworld, I said. Doesn't Netherworld mean a world that exists only in one's imagination? Both counselors laughed. No, Netherworld means land of the dead. What? I asked as cold shivers ran up and down my spine. Yes, my sweet child. Hasn't anyone told you? Told me what? I asked. Told you that you are dead. I hope you enjoyed this story. Like I said, I'm glad I never visited this camp when I was young. I suppose they don't have a summer camp for old coots like me, so I guess I don't have to worry. I hope you enjoyed this scary and bizarre short story. If you would, please subscribe and give the story a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. As always, thank you for visiting my channel.